Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and would you look at what we have here? An absolutely gorgeous hollow body guitar. Let's check it out. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Yes, in the studio, we've got a little bit of a treat today. Now, as you guys know, I'm doing a little mini series featuring high quality guitars that are affordable, that not a lot of people know about. These are models that kind of fly under the radar. Not, the Strats, the Tellys, the Les Pauls, the 335s of the world. These are really cool guitars that not a lot of people know about. So, the model we're featuring today is the Schecter COUPE, or if you're a little bit more refined, the COUPE. Now, first things first, this is a traditionally built hollow body guitar. So no center block running the length of the body, no bracing between the top and the back at all. So it's built in a traditional way, as it should be. Now that out of the way, let's dive in and check out some of the main features of this guitar. Now, we're going to hit up some of the highlights, then we're going to do some tones. Should be interesting because we've got some Tesla Filtertron pickups. They are splittable. Now, I've never coil split a Filtertron pickup before, so that could be interesting. Then we're going to follow up the tones with the overall construction and final thoughts. So that's the format. Let's get going. Now, obviously, this guitar features a black and gold aesthetic running right from the tip of the headstock all the way to the back of the Bigsby, including this gold binding, which you probably couldn't see when you looked at the guitar face on. We'll get to that in a second, but let's start up on the headstock. So, this guitar features Grover open gear tuning machines. I think it looks absolutely fantastic with this model. They're lightweight, they're classic looking, including really classic looking buttons as well. So really classy on the headstock, and as I mentioned, gold binding around the entire guitar, including the headstock. Now, as for the front face, we've got a gold truss rod cover, a bunch of purfling, and a mother of pearl fleur-de-lis. Now, as for the nut, this sports a Graphtec, always a great choice, keeps the strings moving back and forth without catching, so that's great. The fingerboard is ebony and features these gorgeous split block inlays, triple split on the 12th fret, so you can differentiate it there. Looks really great. The neck is maple, and whenever you have a tilt back headstock, I always appreciate it when companies put a volute there just to strengthen that area. So paint and deck, 3-piece maple. Now, like the neck, the body is completely maple as well. And of course, it is an arch top. Very gorgeous. Hopefully the reflections will be showing that off. But yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful arch on this one. As I mentioned, pickups are Tesla, so eager to try those ones out. The bridge is a roller bridge, which complements that Bigsby really well. Hopefully will keep the strings from hanging up on the bridge. And the bridge itself is a Tone Pros, which means it gets locked to the post on both sides, so you're never going to get unwanted vibrations. Now, as for the rest of the body, of course, we've got the Bigsby on the back, and we've got 2 volumes and 2 tones, and the tone knobs are splittable. Now, I'll take a quick shot of the knobs because they're actually really cool. I think they look absolutely fantastic, but more importantly, they're really easy to use. So those are the main highlights of the guitar. Of course, I'll link to it in the video description below. If you guys want all the specs, you can check them out there. All right, you guys, now for the fun stuff, let's plug this guitar in and check out the tones. you guys, now let's try both pickups on at the same time. So it does a really great kind of chicken picking finger style, which a guitar like this should be able to do. Now there's one sound that I really love on this guitar, and that's when I take the bridge and split it. So we got a single coil in the bridge and the neck humbucker. And I'll play the same kind of thing. So when you split the bridge and keep the neck in its full humbucker, gives just a great vintage like Gretsch / Rickenbacker kind of sound. Just sounds fantastic. All right, you guys, now it's time for our 1 minute solo. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of a fusion jam. So I'm going to use some overdrive on the guitar over top of a traditional jazz track. Should be pretty fun. Let's check it out. right, so now let's talk about the overall construction. Now it's one thing to pound out a bunch of solid body guitars, it's a whole nother thing to build a beautiful hollow body. Now happily I can say this guitar is built very, very well. Starting with that gold sparkle binding that goes around the entire guitar, absolutely beautiful and not a flaw on it. Very, very nice binding. So that's great. And I love that when you look at the guitar on the face, all you see is the black and white purfling that goes around the front face. It looks very, very classy, but when you're playing it, you really notice that gold binding looks fantastic. Now moving on to the neck joint, I'm happy to say it all looks fantastic. All the binding where it terminates, where it meets the neck, very clean. The neck joint itself, very solid. So it all looks very well made. Now as for the fretwork, I'm happy to say it's excellent as well. Now this guitar features a 12-inch radius, which is very comfortable and classic feeling, but the frets are bigger than what you would find on a vintage hollow body. So that's one thing to note, but it's very playable and very fast, which is excellent. Fret ends, like all the Schecters I review, are gorgeous. They're contoured, no tooling marks at all, including the upper frets where some manufacturers get lazy. Even though this isn't like a mega high dollar guitar, you know, the fretwork on this instrument is impeccable. So that's a huge, huge plus. Now as for all the other small odds and ends, like how the Bigsby is attached, the strap buttons, all these things, everything looks very, very well done. So here are my final thoughts on the Schecter COUPE. Now this guitar legitimately deserves more recognition, which I guess is the whole point of this series, but it really does. This is such a cool guitar. Classic looks, I think it looks absolutely stunning, but surprisingly versatile. Now, I don't think the coil splits were like world changing, but it's a nice option to have on a guitar like this. You don't see that very often. And I thought some of the middle position combinations sounded pretty cool too. So I liked having that option, even though it wasn't like, you know, world changing. It was pretty cool. So this guitar looks great. It's priced in a way that offers a lot of value and it sounds fantastic. What's not to love? Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. All my links will be down in the video description below. You can check them out there. Other than that, have yourself a great day.